In a world where 7 people will play a game like never before. Will they survive? Audio Dungeon.
Good evening, everybody. I am Tony Hansen, today joined by Dan Isgro. Dan, how's it going?
Pretty good. Tony, what's happening?
What is up, Dan? So today we are going to play something that's only going to be available at least right now on Patreon, but who knows what will be for the future. But this is not an official episode, but it is a part of the official canon, official story. This is going to be the adventure that Hogar goes on from when you teleported away from the Red City, from the rest of the party, and kind of left everybody very, very surprised. And when that was the episode you disappeared and no one knows where you went. So I guess before we start, do you want to comment anything about that moment of when you left the group?
Yeah, I mean, I was trying to do something a little shocking, a little different. And Hogar kind of realized that he accomplished what he was there to do, and then if the next big thing on the docket for the group is putting the Raven on trial. So he kind of was thinking a little bit like, okay, well, it doesn't really feel very useful in trying to gather evidence and find witnesses and things like that. So trying to find a way to make himself useful and concentrate on the mission. So we'll see where he is.
Awesome. So as you know, this is a regular episode. There's nothing different between this. We are going to do a lot of role playing. You could do battling. It's whatever you do. You're going to carve your story out into the world in a separate direction. So as I mentioned before, yes, you could die in this. It's exactly the same. It would be terrible if you had that happen, but anything could happen is the point.
Yeah, up until a few minutes ago, I came in here, low pressure, thinking this is all very low stakes, and then it was explained to me, no, you could die. You might die.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, all right. Okay.
100%. So, okay.
All right.
So without further ado, let us get into Hogar's mission. So, Hogar, you teleport out of the Red City with 2 mage, and you appear in a forest that you are familiar with. And the forest you appear in is the forest that is known in Andaria as Giant's Island, or Giant's Forest. And this is the home, probably a home that you didn't think you'd be returning to for a while. You appear in the woods, 2 mages next to you. You arrive, and just looking around, you see some animals like scurry out of the area. And when you land, or when you teleport in, you see there's also already another figure standing there. And this person is some sort of wizard. And he's probably about 20 or so feet away. And he's just kind of standing and waiting. And 2 mages looks at him, and looks at you, and looks at him. And there's some sort of knowing between them. They must know each other, is your first thought. And so the man speaks. So, they have separated. Yes, 2 mage replies. It is by his choice. Is there a problem? No problem at all. Time is as it is, and their choice is just unexpected. I will see you soon. You see that wizard disappears. 2 mage looks at you. It's either a good sign or a bad sign. I would say good. You're doing something. You're making a decision that is unforeseen.
Who was that?
That was the Chronomancer. As I mentioned, he's assisted us from time to time. I haven't seen him in many, many months, though.
What's his name?
Serio.
Serio.
Yes.
Where is he from? Is he on our side?
He is on the side of the Red City, but that is because what we believe, in many ways, intersects with what he believes. There was a time when he was a menace to Andari, I would say. But because of what he went through, he seems to have tempered. I would say he lies somewhere in between everyone's plans.
What did he go through?
From what I know, and as short as I can explain it, he experienced time shifting from a very young age. And people from his future would visit him when he was a child. And he's a dark elf. He is a drow. And he experienced those individuals trying to contact him in his youth, which, while that was his future, affected his past and led him to be where he is today. He now resides in a tower that is an old dwarven fortress in the northern mountains of Arlight.
That's all very confusing.
Yes. He's a complicated person. For why he's here, I do not know. But all you can do, as he said, is make your own choices. Are you sure this is the one you want to make?
Yes.
Well, whatever you wish to do, I wish you luck. I will come back here at dawn tomorrow and noon to see if you are here.
Okay, this same spot?
Yes, the same area. I will do that every day.
Okay.
Good luck to you, and I will hopefully see you soon.
All right. Thanks, Tomb Mage.
Disappears. He's gone. You're on your own. You made the same exact expression that Sam does when Gandalf leaves them. Just like the two mages left you. Because Gandalf rides away in that cool shot, and then Frodo looks at Sam, and Sam goes, just to say like the wizard just left. It's just me.
Yeah. We're on our own.
Yeah.
Run into a giant spider now.
Right. Yes. Hopefully not.
Okay. So, what's my orientation? Do I know where I am? Do I know where things are in relation to the forest?
You do. You are east of the town you're from.
Okay. Where's this town in relation to the rest of the map?
Okay, so we can look at the map right now. We pull it up. So you can't see. I'm just going to show everybody else. We're not live right now. So everybody who can see, you can look at the map right now, and you'll see somewhere basically in the middle of that map. I'm going to just put a little circle in there for everybody. Oh, it's so small I can't see here. I'm going to give you an idea where it is. It's one of these two islands. I think it's this one. I could be wrong. It's right. I think it's those two. So it might be this one right here. It's one I forget because I just can't see it. And I drew it a long time ago. But yeah, so this is pretty close to everything else that's happening in the world. If I draw a line right here, you see that this is Solst. If I draw a line up here, you see this is the Elven Kingdom. And if I draw a line all the way over here, you see this is the Red City, Sunken City, Raven's Claw, and Arlight, where everyone else is right now. So that's where they are. And Hogar is halfway across the world. So, yep. So, yes, you're southeast of Solst and slightly southwest of Falindor. And you're on an island that's probably about 100 miles or so offshore.
Wow. Okay. So if I'm east of the village, I'll head toward it. I'll head west.
Okay. You head west towards the village. You don't really have. There were never any kind of sort of creatures or menaces or any. There's no bandits. It doesn't really exist, and there aren't many thieves amongst your people. It's not how they do business. And everyone
Yeah.
seems to be just like if they're angry, the anger is right there and immediate and explosive, and the fight just ensues. And maybe people will get locked up or in prison for a second because of something, but thievery is just not something that's done. So besides any kind of animals and beasts in the woods, you have a very easy time making your way over. Um, you travel over to your hometown, and the name of your hometown is Stoneguard, and it's um, one of the more ancient of towns, and it's probably about a little bit over 2 or 3 thousand people. Last that you know, and you don't get any visitors from anywhere else. The half giants kind of keep to themselves, and no one ever travels there because it just doesn't happen. You're kind of feared, as you kind of see your reputation through the quest so far. Anything you want to ask me about Stoneguard or anything else?
Yeah. 2 to 3 thousand people. How many of those are you know, um, of age and body to be warriors? And
You
not children and not elderly.
right. You would say probably most. I would say about 70-75%.
Okay.
And half giants fight from an early age. Maybe not with a lot of intelligence or a lot of wisdom, but they do fight early on, and they stay pretty strong until their later years. So about 70-75%.
Okay.
Any questions?
What about is there one like a known group of fighters like as they pass the trials and as they come of age, like is there a, let's say, an organized group of these fighters?
They basically everyone in your it's kind of like a tribe, and basically when
Mhm.
they come of age, they either hunt or they guard or you know they become a laborer or anything like that. They just move up in society into like a functional place of society. Um, Maybe there's a few more elite positions of people that protect the leader, um, which is someone that has fought for his stake and has to periodically fight for his stake. It's kind of like for those who know the Klingons, it's kind of like a Klingon hierarchy. The strongest is going to be up top, and he can be challenged. Um, so you could think of Game of Thrones too, which is Dothraki, which is very similar to that as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's no like elite of one force or anything like that. But there are fighters that other people know that are better than others. It's just how the reputation goes. And you had a pretty good reputation for yourself, but you were made fun of just because you didn't care. And
Right.
that kind of made you a bigger target because you could do it, and people were jealous and threatened by that, and then you didn't, and it was more like people went after you, especially the one guy that challenged you in your youth that we played out many episodes ago.
Okay. Um, do I know who the leader of the town is?
You're not sure who the leader of the town is right now.
Okay.
Yeah, it could have switched. You haven't been home in, I guess it's been
Two
year and a
years,
half.
maybe?
Yeah, you would have 2 years. Yeah, probably. So it might have switched maybe once or twice, or may still be the same as you remember, but you're not really sure.
Oh, so that kind of turnover is possible then.
Yeah, it could be chaotic, or if it's a really strong leader in there, he could lead for a long time.
Okay. Um, I know where my house is, obviously, right?
Yeah.
All right. So who to go to? Do I know where the leader resides?
Um,
Like, is there like a, I don't know, like a state capital or something like that, or is it just like the
no,
leader's private residence?
no, and so you're like your city is Stonegar, but there's many other cities on the island. There's probably like 4 or 5
Mhm.
main ones, and there's no there's an area where people meet and they discuss things, but the leader just lives in his own house.
There's a place where people meet and discuss things within Stoneguard.
Within Songar, within each civilization,
Okay.
each city or town.
Do the 4 to 5 cities or towns ever get together to discuss?
They compete.
But they only compete.
They compete, and when they do, sometimes they'll discuss things throughout the days. So they have like their own like little Olympics, and that'll probably go on for days, and then they will also discuss matters and things like that, and then they kind of go back to their own towns and cities.
How often do the Olympics happen?
Once a year.
Are they happening now?
No.
No.
It'd be incredibly convenient, but it's not.
Can I get a roll?
Yes. I would say roll a D100, and you have to roll 97 through 100.
Oh boy.
Yeah, you have to show me. You have to show me the dice for everyone who won't believe it. If you roll,
You want me to show you the roll?
Yeah, after you roll, you can just immediately keep your hands up and then show it down, so that there's no dispute.
Here we go. 31.
Nope.
So the Olympics are not happening.
It would be nice.
Okay.
To have Johnny Olympics.
That'd be interesting. I could win a few medals and then do what I came to do too. Okay. So I have obviously this is my hometown. What about the other 3 or 4 cities? Do I have any experience in them or knowledge about them?
Not much, because you never went. You didn't care. So you weren't competing. You weren't trying to really better yourself. You know, some guys go out and they go spend time with other tribes because they want to better themselves. So what they'll do is they'll exchange to say, like, if your city is better at building houses or better at crops and irrigation, they'll send guys around to different things. Also, that's just the trade part of it. If someone's a good fighter and they're good with a spear, or they're good with archery, things like that, some fighters will go around to other places and train and better themselves. All for the idea of becoming leader one day, of trying to be the best and the strongest. Some people don't care about that, and they'll do that with trade. You didn't care much about that growing up, and you did that because you attended to the forest. People see the forest as really their place for food. You saw it as a place for like tranquility and escape, and it just didn't jive with what everybody else thought.
Right. So, is it fair to say that amongst the 4 or 5 cities, there's friendly competition?
Yeah, it's friendly, and they compete hard. It's like imagine teams in sports that like they really, really not hate each other, but they really want to beat the other person. It's a strong rivalry, but they respect each other.
Okay. So they're not like at war or at odds with each other or anything like that.
No. In your past, there's been wars, but nothing extreme. So yeah, they're basically they coexist.
Okay, and there's no one who oversees all 5 cities at once.
No.
Each one is completely independent.
Right.
Okay. All right. Okay, I think that answers all those questions. Oh boy, I don't even know where to begin here. I guess I have 2 options here. I'm gonna go to the tavern, to the town tavern.
Okay. You make your way for about the next 2 hours. You're going through the woods. You come out. You make your way down some rolling hills. Eventually, you see the town, and immediately you see everyone doing exactly what you thought they would be doing. Except there's not that many people there, and the town seems to be a lot less populated than it should be, which is surprising to you. So, so you walk up. You see they're doing whatever. That some people are farming. Some kids are out playing. They're wrestling. They're play fighting, and you begin walking down towards the town. When you get within about I'd say 2 miles away from the town, you pass an area where you've seen like there are like a lot of high trees and such, and you can see in the north is the Obsidian Tower that you remember from a youth. And the Obsidian Tower, for the first time in your life you ever seen it, is lit.
Where's the Obsidian Tower?
To the north.
In what city?
above Stoneguard.
The
It's on your
Obsidian?
island. Now, if you remember, for anyone who saw the episode with the collector, this is in season 1. Dan, you revisited your youth, where in your youth you went out there and you were being made fun of, and one of the guys challenged you to a race, and the race was to run up to the tower, the obsidian tower, and whoever got the closest and touched it and got back first, they would win. So you made that run, and the guy you ran against, he didn't touch the tower and kind of pretended he did. You went all the way and touched the tower, and you had an experience. Do you remember that experience?
That's no, I'm getting mixed up now.
So to just
between different experiences that I've had.
Yeah, you've had a few. So to remind you, you had a vision, and you saw like a face, and you heard a voice, and the voice spoke to you, and you basically asked him who he was, and the voice said, "I am your inevitable future." And then he said, "Will you follow me?" Like kind of like, if I gave you great power, would you follow me? And you didn't answer, and the vision was over. And you ran back. Everyone tried to say you lost the race, and you froze, and you freaked out, and which we didn't play out that day. You came back kind of messed up, mentally about what happened, and didn't really fight much. And the guys just kind of went off, and you went back home, and that sat with Hogar for a while. Didn't understand what it meant.
Oh boy. Okay. So I have a few options here. What I'm going to do.
Yes.
How long a journey would it be to the Obsidian Tower?
It's probably like a half a day.
Okay. 12 hours?
Maybe a little less. Probably like a 7.5 hour journey. You could speed it up if you really tried. Probably push it to 6.
Is that a round trip?
No.
Round trip is about, if I speed it up, it's about 12 or 13 hours?
Yeah.
Whew, okay. And what time is it right now?
It is, I believe, if I have it correctly, it is it's probably around midday.
So it's around midday.
Later than midday, not noon. It's probably like 4 or 5 o'clock.
And Two Mages coming back around dawn.
He's gonna come around every day, dawn and noon, to check to see if you're there until he finds you.
Okay. So midday. Okay.
So if you did want to travel to there, you believe you would get there by nightfall.
You know what? Yeah, let's start there.
Okay. You make your journey.
My plan is going to be.
Don't tell me your plan.
Okay, I won't tell you my plan.
No, you shouldn't tell me your plan.
I won't. No, you know what? Let's go to the tavern first.
Okay.
I want to put some gears in motion in Stoneguard. So let's go to the tavern. Let's stick to my plan and let's go to the tavern.
Okay. To ignore the glowing tower, and you go to the tavern.
Completely ignore.
I will give you the option now to name the tavern that is in your childhood town. What is it?
Oh, can I use my favorite tavern name that I always use?
Sure. As long as it hasn't been named before somewhere else.
In Andaria?
In Andaria, yeah.
All right, it's called the Come On In.
The Come On In. Okay.
Dark.
All my screens just went out at the same time. I freaked out. Okay. Okay, so you go into the Come On In, and you walk in. You walk up, and you hear a voice goes, "Come on in." And you
Do I know who he is?
Yes, it's the tavern. Everyone has been there forever, and the "Come On In" is a joke that the that the half giants, the people of town use because, the name doesn't matter because he always says that, and they just make fun of him for it. So you walk in. His name is Harbor.
Harbor.
And he walked right in, and he goes, well, not something I ever expected. Hogar.
Harbor.
He jumps over the counter and runs over to you and just picks you up. He's as big as you are and takes you, and he goes, you're about a third bigger than I saw you. Can you still fight? And he pushes you.
Oh, I can fight, Harbor. I shove him back.
Roll a post grapple. She's a 19.
Woof. Woof, 22.
Okay, so he goes to get you, and then you turn it around him, and you pull him. He goes, very good, very good. He slaps you on the arm.
I give him a big hug after that.
He hugs you. Come on, sit down, have a drink.
It's good to see you, Harbor.
Good to see you. Your parents will be very happy to see you.
Don't know if I'm looking forward to seeing them.
Why is that?
That's a long story. I'll get to it, but just, I was hoping maybe you could fill me in on what's been happening here in Stoneguard for the last, year and a half, 2 years since I left.
Sure. Well, tell you what, go back and forth. Question for a question.
Okay.
Good. I start.
All right.
Where have you been?
Have you heard of the Blackwater Bandits?
No.
I guess word hasn't traveled back here then. Well, when I left here, I met a wizard. His name is Findalar. And he needed someone to take him as a guide to the Sunken City. So, I went with Findalar, and I don't know if you remember what I was going through when I left here, but...
The whole town remembers what you were going through.
Okay. I was hoping maybe...
A lot of people were upset when you left.
Yeah.
Some people said you could have been leader if you tried hard enough.
I was hoping people maybe wouldn't remember, but... I liked being in the woods. And I sought to be a ranger. And when Findalar came to town, he needed a guide. And I saw that as my opportunity to gain some experience as a ranger.
So did you get it?
I did. And that's how I left here. I went with Findalar to the Sunken City. He was looking for a very special, very powerful magical item. And we made it to the Sunken City. And now it's my turn to ask you a question.
Go ahead.
Where is everybody?
Well, a few weeks ago, the Obsidian Tower to the north started acting odd. So the leader, Wolfen, started sending some of our guards to go see and investigate. They came back in about 2 days, and they said 2 things. One, the tower is lighting up with some sort of light, some sort of amber light. And that light shifts and turns, and then it goes to purple, and it goes to red, and back to amber, and all these unusual things. Many think it's the Archmage awakening. Everyone's excited. 2, only a few days ago, the doors to the tower opened for the first time ever. And that's it. Many of the people have been going out there. They feel like we're being cold. This is our time. Many of the elders talk of it's our time to take our place in the world. Some people see it as a sign that we should do the opposite. That the world is becoming dangerous and we should prepare for battle at home. Hard to say anything else.
Where does Wolfen stand?
Wolfen sees it as I imagine a leader would. We're Stoneguard. Our lineage demands that we protect the tower. So, whatever the tower wants us to do, the Archmage, or whatever comes out of it, he believes it's our destiny to follow it. So he's been out there for nearly a week, fasting for 18 hours a day, praying to the tower.
Wolfen is at the tower?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that answered my next question. What else can I tell you?
Did you ever get sit down and settle down with a girl?
No.
All that traveling you did around the whole world, you didn't even meet anybody.
Oh, I've met plenty of people, but no women to settle down with. Getting to the Sunken City was only the beginning of my story.
What happened after that?
Oh, Hogar, you wouldn't believe where I've been. You know where I went?
No idea.
I went to the center of Andaria.
Get out of here.
Oh, come on. I went to the very lowest level of
Why?
hell itself.
Why? Why would you
I'm
do
telling you, Arthur.
Why did you go there?
Oh, you remember that artifact I told you about?
Yeah.
It was a very powerful rod.
So it made you go there.
Where do I begin?
This is what I say. You know what? In the tavern, someone comes in. I give them an ale. We talk about their stories. And they go home. And I go home. And you're telling me you got mixed up with wizards and magic rods. And it led you to the center of the world. And if that story is true, then you're crazier than I thought.
Well, you asked me if I met anyone, huh?
Yeah.
I met a gnomish tinkerer who fights inside of a giant metal suit. I met
Gnomes out of their minds.
I've never met a gnome like this. I also met a stout, loyal dwarf who worked in the mines in the Sunken City. I met a bard, a woman from Ravensclaw.
There you go.
Oh, she has a lovely, lovely singing voice. I also met a halfling from the Sunken City. Very, very sneaky. And if you're not looking, he'll hit you very, very hard. And Findalar, the wizard I met, and myself, along our way, we bound ourselves to the Collector.
Whoa. The Collector is the ancient for the gnomes and the halflings. Why would a half-giant bind himself to the Collector?
What I'm about to tell you is also going to sound crazy. But here
all
goes.
Sounds crazy.
You've heard of the First Celestial War?
Yes.
Or the Celestial War?
Yes.
There's a second one coming.
Well, that sounds about right compared to all this tower business that's been going on.
I think the tower has something to do. I think the tower is very, very closely related to what's happening. The reason I came back here, Harbor, is because for a while now, there's been a thorn in our side.
What's that?
His name is the Raven. He's a very, very powerful pirate who has overtaken Raven's Claw. I captured him a few days ago. He's going to stand trial.
Sounds like you worked it out.
I don't trust him. And I don't trust that any of us, the 6 of us, or our allies in the Red City, in Rhaegar, or in the Sunken City, know what he has up his sleeve. He always has something up his sleeve. So I've come here for a little bit extra for when he drops the hammer on us. And
What's extra?
I need to talk to Wolfen about that.
Well, kid, you're crazy. Whatever you got in your head, I wish you luck. But
Thank you, Harbor.
You're going on all these crazy missions and all these wild things. I'm going to tell you, just find a simple life. Sit down and enjoy. You loved the woods when you were here, the forest and the animals. Sounds like you got away from that a little bit. Go back to it when you can.
I don't know when that'll be.
Well, here. I'm going to fill this up for you. Sounds like you have a trip ahead of you. It gives you like a little it's like a little barrel, kind of like the ones the dogs have when they go save people in the mountains.
Oh, the St. Bernards?
The St. Bernards. That's my knowledge from cartoons, from the Looney Tunes, Bugs Bunny. So he gives you a little thing to take out there, and it's probably like the equivalent of like like a quarter gallon of wine.
Okay. Thank you, Harbor.
Take this for your trip. Good luck. You need anything when you come back, say hello.
All right. It's been good talking to you again.
I'll
see you soon.
Make me a promise before you go.
Yeah.
Sooner or later, go see your parents. If I saw you and they don't get to see you, they're going to fight me about it.
I'll go see them before I leave, Harbor.
Good. Good journey.
Good journey. All right, I leave. I leave the come on in.
Someone else walks in. Come on in. Okay, you walk outside. You see some people. Roll a d20. If you roll a 1 through a 5, you see someone you know. If you roll a 1, you see the old guy that you had to fight with.
Okay. A 1.
Oh, yes. Yes. Okay. You see, you can show me? Yeah, go ahead, show me.
Can you see it?
Not yet. And there it is. The 1. That 1 is like haunting you.
Oh, boy. Very inopportune. Oh, God.
You hear, well, well, well.
Oh, God.
If it isn't Bird Boy? Tell us, what have you learned from the woods? You've been out there forever. How many bird friends do you have? I'm sure you're friends with all the squirrels and the birds and all the worms. You know, you're, I'm sure, king of the worms at this point. This guy's name is Headley.
Headley?
Well?
Headley, I promise you I don't have time for this. I have to go speak to Wolfen. I understand he's in charge these days.
Oh, yeah, he's in charge. We know he's going to be in charge next year, huh? It's going to be Headley. Me.
Well, have you challenged Wolfen?
Not yet.
Not yet.
But I will.
Okay, yeah.
So you're going to the tower?
I'm going to the tower, yes.
He walks up to you and he slaps you in the back. Well, it looks like we're going together.
Oh. Um, do you really want to know if I'm the king of the birds and the forest?
Come on. He starts walking.
Okay, let's go. So we start walking to the tower together.
Okay. You guys start walking. He sees already packed. He's going out there. Um, you talk about some useless thing. He catches you up in the city. Basically, not much has changed. He won a couple of different events in the competitions, the yearly competitions, the two that passed. He talks about it and gives you like details down to like the nitty gritty about how he overtook the other guys. And one was wrestling, well, and the other one was climbing. And he basically like he can't believe they even like you tried to beat him, and things like that. He's very very much full of himself. Um, he talks about himself for a long time. It goes on for a while, and finally it wraps around after like an hour and a half of him just like going back and forth between himself and things that he's done and something else, but then always back to him. It goes silent for a second, and then he finally starts talking to you about you. He goes, "Okay, so really, how many birds are friends with?"
I can show you.
No, you don't have to show me. Just tell me how many birds you're friend with now. Did you really go out there? I mean, listen, you could have been joining me in these competitions, and you spend your life in the woods. What are you doing out in the woods for a year and a half?
I've been to more places than just the woods in a year and a half. I've been to the Sunken City. I've been to the Red City. I've been to Rhaegar. Spent some time in Solst.
Why would you want to go there? What challenge is there for a half giant?
Well, I'll tell you what I told Harbor. You know the Celestial War?
Yes. Yeah.
There's a second one coming. And,
So what? It has nothing to do with us.
well, maybe not much with Stoneguard, but it has a lot to do with me and the new friends that I've made.
Okay.
Let
me tell you something.
Now, yeah.
Don't let those worms go too far into your ear. They might eat your brain.
I'll tell you some more on the way, Headley.
Okay, so you guys travel. Just give me the very brief topics of what you tell him.
I want to give him the same stories that I told to Harbor. Let him know that I went down to hell. Let him know that I'm bound to the Collector. Let him know that I'm a part of the Blackwater Bandits. That we were told that all of us are going to, glazing it over, we're going to play a very key role in succeeding in the Second Celestial War against Dragano, and that of the Blackwater Bandits, at least one of us has to survive in order for Dragano to not succeed.
Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to roll a charisma check. This may not have much of a bearing of anything, but if you achieve a 15 through 19, it will move him to a sense of like, oh wow, you travel the world, whether he believes the whole story or not, but he does believe that you travel. If it's above a 20, it'll be like wow, he respects you. It's like, okay, maybe this guy said something big. 25, he can't believe it. He completely can't believe it.
Okay.
Go for it.
Ooh, 17.
17. Okay, so you see as you're talking to him, he's listening, and some things he's saying like is ridiculous and no, but overall, by the end of the trip, his mood changes a little bit. He feels like, whether he admits it or not, you could tell him there's a little bit of respect there for you, so he thinks that you've done some stuff. That's pretty cool. But he will not say that. So
okay. My dice are very, very streaky today.
Yeah. So you guys are talking, and you guys both stop, and you realize this is his first time to the tower yet. And you guys come up over a hill, and you see the black tower there, and the doors are wide open, and a lot of half giants roll over the place, and there's probably a few thousand here, and which means that there's others from other civilizations, and they're all bowing down and praying, and they're saying like and kind of mantras that they know. They're worshiping the Archmage, whether it is the Archmage or not. They believe that it is, and that's basically what they're doing. You don't see Wolfen or anybody right away. You just see what everyone's, doing, worshiping and such.
Question:
Sure.
They're worshiping the Archmage. Do they normally like in their everyday lives worship the Archmage, or are they only
Yes.
like kind of resorting to this now that they're threatened by the tower?
It's kind of like they're not so religious where like they do masses or they do rituals every single day, but they do, like, it's almost like, imagine if, while there would be no equivalent of church or weekly ritual, every time there's a holiday they always praise the Archmage. That's how they do it, basically. So everything's about the tribe and everything else, but everything that's deeply rooted in tradition comes from the Archmage.
Okay. Is it normal for anyone in the village to be bound to the Archmage?
No, because no one's ever talked to him, spoke to him, or anything like that.
Okay. So we got about 1,000 half giants here, and they're from more, and they're from all villages. Thousands.
Definitely from more than one
right.
village. Has to be at least 2 or 3. Could be all of them. You don't know.
Okay. All right. So so I turn to Headley and I say, "Oh, Mom, how do we begin looking for Wolfen?"
Knowing Wolfen will probably up front somewhere. He'll make sure that everybody knows that he's there.
Okay. In comparison to me, like with my armor and my big sword, how is everybody else dressed? Are they ready for battle?
They have like a leather armor on. Some of them have swords on them. They have a maul. They have a hammer, an axe, bows and arrows. They always have the weapons usually with them, but they're not wearing any kind of armor like you. They don't have weapons like you. You look like you look significant compared to what they have because they just don't use that kind of stuff.
Okay.
You make your way through the crowd and towards the front, and as you get closer and closer, it just makes you constantly flash back to what you experienced when you were first here, and kind of freaks you out a little bit. And you get closer and closer, and right down the steps is 3, what you can tell by what they're wearing, 3 of the leaders out of all the cities on the island, and they're there, and one of them is Wolfen.
Did I ever know Wolfen before he became
No?
No.
No, I mean he would. You know who he is. There's a chance he may recognize you, but nothing beyond that.
Okay. All right. So I approach them. I approach all 3 of them with Headley.
Okay. Headley goes up, and he puts his arms crossed around his body, and he goes, "Wolfen, I'm here to serve." Wolfen looks around. The other 2 leaders kind of look, and then they go right back to praying silently. And Wolfen stands up. Wolfen is a little bit taller than you. He's pretty big. He's about 8 feet tall. How tall are you?
7.
You're about 7. Yeah, he's about 8 feet tall. So he goes over, and they don't really get much bigger than him. It's pretty much the top. He puts his arm on Headley. He goes, "You are eager, Headley. Do not worry. I see you. I see you today, and I see you before. Today you will worship the Archmage. You will represent Stone God for us." He puts his arm on you. I'm gonna make a roll and see if he recognizes you. 17. You are the one who is lost. What is your name again?
My name is Hogar.
Hogar. He looks back at the tower, and then back at you. What is your purpose here, Hogar? Why have you returned to us?
Well, I've come here for a few reasons, Wilfin. And both of them have to do with you. First, I found out about this tower. And I understand that you've come to believe that the lighting of the tower and the opening of the doors hold major significance, both for Stoneguard, and I believe it holds even more significance for all of Andoria. So I've come to talk to you about the tower and about my experience here years ago. If you remember, a long time ago, Headley and I raced each other to this tower.
I do not know of such a race.
When I got here and I touched the tower, I had someone appear to me in a vision. I don't know who it was. I suspect that it could have been the Archmage, but I don't know. And he told me that he can make me immensely powerful if I pledge myself to him. I think.
What did you
whoever's
say
here-
to these words? You claim
I
to
said-
speak to the Archmage. What did you reply?
I said nothing.
This saddens me. You say you heard the words of the Archmage, and yet you do not honor him.
Well, if that saddens you, I have something to tell you that may sadden you a bit more. In my travels, I bound myself to the Collector. I don't know how this would affect trying to get to the bottom of what's happening here in the tower, but I believe that I may be of some assistance to help you there. I've told Headley everything that's happened to me since I left the village here. I've become a major player in what many people believe is a second celestial war that will soon ravage Andaria.
You see the other two leaders kind of get up, like kind of half hearing the story between both of you because you're not that far away. And then they kind of walk up. One goes, he who has left will return. He who is lost will be found. He who has seen evil will lead. Let him enter. See if the Archmage denies him or accepts him.
What what were you just saying?
It is what he said he heard. He has been hearing the words of the Archmage, he says. He is the one who has gone closest to the door and tried to enter but could not. It seems fortuitous that you are here. If you wish to enter, go for it. May the Archmage destroy you or accept you.
Well, it's not that simple.
It is that simple. You have traveled a long way to come back here, and the tower is waiting. You say the Archmage called upon you, and I'm sure you wish to acknowledge this and honor him.
I came here for a different reason.
Well, if you wish to speak to me, you will show your courage, and you will enter this building.
I'll only do so after we work out a deal.
No,
No.
we have nothing more to discuss then. I give you a challenge as your leader, and on your first whim, you deny me. And as you told me before, you deny the Archmage and everything you have come from. How can I speak to you on such grounds when you tell me you betray everything, us and your ancient? You say you belong to the Collector. How many more ways can you betray me? And now you demand my attention and my words. I give you nothing. He turns back around. and he begins his prayer once again.
Fair enough. What are the other two leaders' names?
Loranus.
Loranus.
Loranus, Loronus.
Mm-hmm.
And Mangle.
All right.
Mangle's the one that talked to you.
Has Loranus said anything yet?
Loranus seems to be kind of silent about the whole thing. He kind of kneels back down. Mangle just kind of keeps looking at you. You know, imagine only like a second to his past, and Wolfen has gone back down. Mangle puts his arm on you. He who has left will return. Is this you?
I believe it is.
He who is lost will be found. Is this you?
Could be.
He who has seen evil will lead. Is this you?
I've seen
If
evil.
not, boy, take your destiny into the tower for us. None can enter. If it is not your destiny, you will be revealed and denied.
Okay. I approach the door.
Okay. You walk up. You walk up the stairs, and you see the doors there, and the light is constantly shifting slowly from like an amber to a purple to a red, and you can't see what's inside. Only light. It's like walking to a hallway that is just pure light.
Is the door open? It is open, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I just kind of stick my hand in.
Okay. You stick your hand in. You've crossed the threshold, but you haven't walked in.
I can't like stick my hand in the pool a little.
Yeah. It's cold.
All right. Turn around. I look at the three of them, or the four of them, including Headley, and I say, I'm going to go in. I turn and I step into the threshold.
You step through. You feel like there's a bit of like tension, almost like you won't be able to like pass through. And all of a sudden, the light just emerges, and you go flying forward. You disappear.
Oh. Okay.
And that is where we're going to stop this episode.
Oh God.
Guys, thank you for joining us today. This has been Hogar's Journey Part 1. And we'll see you soon for Hogar's Journey Part 2. I'm Tony Hansen, joined by Dan Isgro. And we'll see you next time on Audio Dungeon.